The sky is falling in Cowtown
again.
again. It must be week 3 recap after a couple of shitstorm losses in the third period. Dylan and Chris from the Armchair GM Podcast, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. Let's get into it.
It's just a game. It's not life or death. It's just a game. We'll play better tomorrow. It's not like there was a death in the family or something.
Yeah, I'm not rattled. I'm just thankful I'm alive for you. Unfortunately, pulled through that devastating loss last night.
Well, Dylan,
Couple of third period collapses, Chris.
you know we're not the comeback kids any longer.
No, but the other teams all are, apparently.
We allow them to come back on us. Just kind of a disastrous third period in back-to-back games. One on Saturday against Edmonton, and then again on Tuesday night against Seattle.
To be fair, on Tuesday night we kind of shat the bed in the first period and then like had a actually quite a good second period, and then just kind of got up by 2 goals, and then the team just decided they were going to pack it in and drive over the Hooters and forget that hockey exists.
Jesus, I forgot Hooters exists. Oh well.
I don't know if it still does, to be honest.
I honestly don't either. It's a family restaurant, you know.
Yeah.
So let's get into Edmonton. What did you see for the first 40 minutes before the collapse happened?
A very frustrated 97.
Yep.
Honestly, very frustrated. And I thought the Flames played a really, really solid defensive 40 minutes. Probably would have made Sutter proud. I think Stuart Skinner kind of has Calgary's number. Definitely gets a hold of those grade A scoring opportunities, plus all the crest shots. Probably a few too many of those, but the first 40 I thought we had a really good possession time, zone time. Oilers were kind of running around a little bit, but
yeah, I was actually surprised with McDavid's lack of ice time,
speed as well.
Yeah, I mean he only went 44% in the dot too, so there's all sorts of negatives to take away from his game, other than the fact he had 3 points.
Yeah. Should we just talk about what everybody was talking about that game with Markstrom doing exactly what he was supposed to do and just getting some really shit luck?
Yeah, we can get into that. I mean,
are you pretty upset with him over that, or?
I'm not upset with either one of the games, other than the last half.
5 minutes.
The last half. I mean, McDavid scored, and then Hyman scored, in the middle of the period. But it's like we just gave up.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I saw against Seattle as well.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm not a fan of that trend. I really hope that Darryl can turn that around very quickly, because
reel the boys in a little bit.
Yeah, because both efforts in the last 5 minutes of each game is unacceptable.
I totally agree. Was it the Oilers game? I think it was the Oilers game where we pulled the goalie at the end there, and the boys wouldn't. All they did was dump it in, and they didn't if you're gonna pull the goalie, dump and chase needs to stop. in my opinion, because chances are the whole other team is back, and they always get the puck, and then your whole team is busy being in the neutral zone or back because they're trying not to get scored on. The whole point in pulling your goalie is to try and score and not to try and forecheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you need to start carrying it in at that point. And especially since you're on a timer and you don't have time to cycle it so much, it's time to get rush chances and even point chances and shit like that. But it's not time to start trying to set up a cycle or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And oddly enough, I found the last few minutes of the Seattle game to be the exact opposite, where they weren't trying to dump it in, but they just could not for the life of them get in the zone.
They really couldn't. It was kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it was just lazy play after lazy play, bad pass after bad pass, and just no urgency whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they spent more time going backwards than they did going forward. And it was, yeah, both those, last half or 5 minutes of the third period where it was just pure laziness on everybody's count. Like I can't even single a single player out. They were all just as shitty.
Yeah. No, it wasn't fun watching the last the last 5-10 minutes of both of those games. It was really hard. But I do want to point a couple of fun things out. Throughout both of those games, the defensive play on this motherfucker, Chris Tanev, he saved probably, I want to go ahead and say 5 easy empty net tap-ins just by laying down on the ice at the right time in 2 games. We all know what he does. He's so good.
I'll say it again. Like, I really didn't give him enough credit when he was playing with Vancouver.
Yeah.
Mostly because of my hatred for Vancouver. I'm
which is fair.
But ever since he came here, I've been in awe watching him play. He's so consistent. He's just so good positionally with his stick, with his body, or when he's laying on the ice trying to take away a pass, which he did numerous times last night. On
and the night and
weird,
Saturday.
Yeah, on weird odd man rushes coming back. Like,
yeah,
I really can't see enough good things about.
Yeah, and like, not to talk too much about it, but I'm not even kidding. At least 3-4 times there, he was like, there was no other flame anywhere near the play, and there was 2 to 3 opponents, and Tanev blocked the pass all the way until the guy was in the back corner, and his teammates had time to catch up, and the other 2 guys were, from the other team were left in the front of the net by themselves, but without any chance of getting a pass. It was I'm not like easy tap-ins if Tanev didn't do what he did. Not that it matters in the long run because we lost in regulation in both times, which is upsetting, but couldn't even squeeze 1 point out of 2 third period leads.
Yeah, well, exactly. And he was also rewarded with a point. Finally got himself on the board. Same with Uyghur, right? They both assisted on Kadri's goal there in the second period, which was a great goal. And I think I said it in the chat that if they call this goal back, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to start flipping tables.
I do understand why there was a challenge on it, because there definitely was contact, but the way the rule is written, in my knowledge of it, is if the guy has time to get back, if the goalie has time to get back to the puck, or back into the net, or whatever the situation is, if the goalie has time to reset, basically, then the goaltender interference doesn't matter. And it was just a small little clip, and probably shouldn't have counted anyways. But like, Kadri was 30 feet away from the goalie when he shot the puck. There is no chance the goalie didn't have a chance to reset.
Yeah. This is why you don't work on the actual measuring of the lumber in the facility you work on. He wasn't. I mean, he was 10 feet, but I mean, either way,
it was further than that. But
the clipping of the pad. I mean, Kadri's going to his, I guess, to his right, and the goalie was going to the left. So it's like he didn't impede him in any way. Like he was still coming to his left when that contact happened.
Yeah.
So
if anything, he stopped the goalie's momentum from going
further
than further away from the play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it was a terrible decision to try and challenge that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they ended up winning. So
yeah. I mean, we didn't score on the power play, so no harm, no foul for them, right?
No. I also wanted to talk. I know that we talked for a second about it, but that whole Markstrom going out to play the puck against the Oilers there.
Yeah.
Because people are freaking out about it still online like 4 days later. And it's I mean, Sutter straight up said that is what we want our goalies to do. And Sutter said that, that happens sometimes. Sometimes it gets missed. Sometimes it skips over a stick. Sometimes it hits a dent in the boards and goes flying back. All of that stuff happens very rarely, and fucking McDavid would get that bounce. But that's hockey, and it sucks, and it sucks that it basically cost us that game. But
I wouldn't say it cost us the game. Our shit play in the third cost us the game.
Well, yeah, the shit play in the third cost us the game, but that sparked McDavid. Like, you could tell that sparked McDavid. He went from being lethargic, nothing, and then was himself for the rest of the remaining 10 minutes of the game or whatever it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not in Sutter's camp when it comes to comments like that, as far as wanting the goaltenders to do it, because Vladar is not very good at it. I don't want him doing it at all.
Ever.
Any play coming back. It's fine if they're just dumping it in on a penalty kill. Fine, go get it. But I don't want him back there playing the puck at all. Markstrom, he's okay at best at it, and he always has been. I don't want him doing that either. He's not a Mike Smith, what everybody talks about.
But the thing is Smith, like, everyone said, oh, he was so good at it, but he served up a goal every second game.
I agree. 100%.
And it's not even like, it's not even sometimes, it's like every second game that's a goal against, and it's fucking bullshit. Like, Markstrom doesn't do the dangerous in front of the net passes that
no, Markstrom doesn't think that he's a defender like Smith would, and trying to make breakout passes. He, like, the shit he was doing was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I don't consider Smith really that good at it. I mean, he did it frequently, and I'd say 50-50 he did a really good job, and then 50-50 he either made himself make a really nice stop or just served up a goal. Whereas Markstrom, I agree with you in the fact that I don't really want to see the goalies outplaying all, like, as much as they do, but I mean, if that's what the coach is asking them to do, then I don't put that on Markstrom.
No, but I mean, Daryl's also not going to call him out on it either, because he knows that Markstrom's going through something clearly, right?
Yeah.
Has been all season. So I don't think Sutter's going to throw him under the bus, because he also knows that wasn't necessarily the play that lost us the game. It was just,
It was the start of the
yeah,
shit show. Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I mean, with this many veterans on the team, and to show such a little amount of pushback and effort at the ascent of a third period when you're down is horse shit.
Can I ask you a question here?
Yeah.
Do you think, and I mean, this is obviously a huge overreaction considering we're fucking 7 or 8 games into the season.
Mhm.
But do you think that maybe having too many cup winning veteran players is a possibility to the fact where maybe they can't call each other, or maybe they don't feel okay calling each other out on the bench because this guy has just as much experience as I do, or more, type of thing? That's just something that came into my head. But
I think there's too much made out of the cup experience, especially in the regular season.
fair enough.
Right? Cup experience means nothing from the regular season. Regular season and playoffs are two completely different games. But I've never bought into we need this guy because of cup experience. Unless they're an actual superstar that happens to have cup experience. There's, would I want McKinnon on my team now that he's won a cup? Well, I wanted him on my team the year before that too. So
yeah.
like,
and like, if you go back to Coleman, let's say I wanted Coleman on the team long before, I wanted him on the team when he was playing for New Jersey because I saw how he played the game.
That's right. And I mean,
he won cups, and I was like, I still want Coleman on the team.
Yeah, but let's be honest. I mean,
he's not a superstar.
He's. I mean, most games he's irrelevant on the ice.
I wouldn't really call him irrelevant. I think
this year has been irrelevant.
I think him and Backlund have done a pretty good job of the stopping the like a lot of the 5-on-5 scoring has been happening, and the PK has been pretty good, but a lot of the 5-on-5 scoring has been coming from while the other lines are on the ice.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I should probably rephrase.
He's been irrelevant on the score sheet. 100%.
He's been irrelevant 5-on-5, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
He's been really good at the penalty kill for sure. But yeah, we need more from him. He like, I think I said it in the chat last night. He looks like he could possibly be the player in the entire league that's gripping his stick the hardest. I just want him to get a lucky bounce and a goal, so he'll just fucking play hockey. He's trying way too hard to score a goal.
The weight on his shoulders needs to, the monkey.
And we're 8 games in.
Yeah.
So as a veteran, you can't let it get to you like that.
And as a Blake Coleman type producer, not scoring a goal in 8 games is definitely a what the fuck ever type of a thing anyways.
Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah, like you're not on the team because we want you to score 40. We're on the team because we want you to score 18 and be solid defensively and great at retrievals and shit like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was on the third line of the cup winning team, right?
Yeah.
So, let's
maybe he's real. Where he should be.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I find like he's trying to make weird plays at the net right now, which he just needs to knock that off and just get back to what got him to be
an NHLer.
And somewhat of a sought after player, right?
So I listen to obviously 960 all the time. I can't remember. I think it was Pat was saying something about something Gulutzin had said at some point where be the player that's on the back of your hockey card, and you'll have success, because that's the player that got you to where you are, right? Which kind of makes sense. So if you're the player on the back of your hockey card is a Blake Coleman type of player, then be that player and don't try and be fucking Tyler Toffoli even, you know?
Yeah, for the love of God, don't be Tyler Toffoli.
No, he's been good. He's been good.
You know what? He's looked really fast these last few games, especially. He's been great. Like his production has been, phenomenal, really, for what he is.
Yeah. No, I agree. He's been scoring. He's must be listening to our podcast, because he started looking up and started scoring right as he started looking
Wasn't
up.
it the next game, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Way to go,
And
Tyler.
he's been doing it ever since.
Yep.
And even on that really nice pass over to Zadorov, where Zadorov scored, I'm pretty sure I say Zadorov differently every time I say his name.
Yep.
But whatever. But again, Toffoli was looking up and made a nice play because he was looking up.
Yep.
So keep looking up, Toffoli.
Right? Keep looking up, indeed. Like he has 3 power play points, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, 7 in total, 4 goals, 3 assists. I mean, what more do you want from the guy? I know people harp on his lack of speed, but you know what?
He's gotten better at that too in the last few games.
Absolutely. Though he's looked really sharp. I really have nothing negative to say about him, especially in the last couple of games. Like he's skating hard, he's rushing the net. He's passing the puck, right? Given what his normal, averages are, to have three assists already in 8 games is, pretty reasonable as far as I'm concerned.
No, I agree. I think he's been good. We need more guys who can pick corners, because that is part of the problem. Is we've been out chancing and out shooting opponents, and we're not potting them. You know what I mean? Obviously, the horrid defense for just long enough to sacrifice a couple of goals, and the shaky, at least, start to the season for Markstrom and last period for Vladar, that's not helping either. But I got a question for you as well. Have you noticed the monkey see, monkey do thing happening, where people are trying the Huberdeau fucking spinorama pass too much?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that Daryl hasn't put an end to that already.
Me too.
I started noticing
frustrating to watch, because
3 games ago, I think
there's literally nobody on the team who has that type of skill other than him.
Right.
And they should stop that now. Stop it.
They all need to focus on being able to retrieve that pass.
Yes.
Right. Get that down first, and then on occasion, fine. But figure out how to retrieve that pass, so as that Huberdeau becomes the player that we all know he is. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's also a pretty common misconception. Is I don't think Huberdeau's been bad. Like he hasn't been up to his standards, but he's been putting up points. He is mainly a playmaker in the first place. He's been putting up assists, and he's getting better defensively. And I think that Huberdeau not producing is kind of a overblown thing. I think, again, the main thing is that there's a couple things here with Huberdeau, and I want to get your thoughts on this after. But again, what you were saying, the guys are having a hard time, other than Uyghur, because he's used to it, are having a hard time collecting his passes because they're hard passes,
Yep.
and they're coming from out of fucking nowhere. On the tape, but they're hard and they're not ready for them. So that's one thing he's really struggling with. And I don't want him to take any juice off of those passes.
No,
I
absolutely
want the
not.
other guys to learn to take them.
That's why I had 85 assists last year, is because of that pass, right?
Exactly. And the other thing, and I'm going to take it back to when Daryl first came back, and we had, Gaudreau and Lindholm and Kachuk. And it, for the last quarter of that season that Daryl took over, they weren't very good up until the last couple weeks.
Right.
It takes skilled players a while to get used to the Daryl Sutter system.
Yeah.
That's why patience, I think, even though I think it's overblown that he's not producing, because he is, but I think that the rest of his game is he's unsure, because first of all, he's coming from a sea level place that he's playing in to altitude, and he's coming from a division where it's all run and gun to a coach that wants fucking really good defense and completely new players. Like with Kadri played in the West, in altitude last year.
Yeah.
And he's played on a couple different teams, so he knows maybe a little bit better how to adjust to different things, whereas Huberdeau's still like not so sure. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And just give him time, please.
Well, yeah.
Don't like, there's memes out there about it's time to get rid of him or it's time to bench him, and it's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That's fuck. It's ludicrous. Like,
Yeah.
No, I'm far from being at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you look at Kadri's, just his style of play, right? Like, it's more geared at a Western style.
Absolutely.
Always has been, right?
And this other style.
Yeah. Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And, not saying that Huberdeau can't get in there on that, because he is a a bigger player than, the point or the assist
guy that we had before.
leading player that we had. He's not necessarily a physical player, but he can hold his own. He's not going to get pushed off the puck. So I think the defensive style of the game is going to come. It's just, we're 8 games
He's
in.
learning.
Let's talk again 20 games in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he has, he has 4 assists already.
So
in one goal.
He's doing fine.
I'm not worried about him.
He's gonna come out of this non-existent slump everyone thinks he's in.
Yeah.
In no time, and be even better than he already is. So yeah. I don't think we need to talk much more about that.
No.
I just wanted to shit on a bunch of people for being stupid.
Personally, if you want to talk about somebody, let's talk about number 88.
Let's do that, but let's take a little break first.
Shall we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Let's do it. Hockey fans, it's finally time to hit the ice again, and thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you're in for the season of a lifetime. New customers can bet $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets if they win. I'm definitely doing it the next Battle of Alberta. And if that wasn't enough excitement, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Minimum age, some restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Well, Chris, if you were a betting man, how much would you bet that Mangiapane isn't going to last much longer on the second line?
I'd be willing to put down at least $50 on that.
unless he steps it up, I'd probably say the same because, like you were saying to me earlier, like a lot of people are all about Andrew Mangiapane, and I get it. He scored a shitload of goals last year. He's done literally nothing of any effect this year. He's
Again,
been the weakest part of his line, the weakest part of the top six, and like people are shitting all over the top line, like, and he's not even on it, and he's been the worst of all six of them.
yeah,
And
I-
he's still not staying on his feet. Like,
agreed. And like I said, during the summer, the ass end of last season, yes, he got a shit ton of goals right up until maybe the first week of December, and then did SFA after that.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
he's continuing on that trend.
Yep.
And it's not even his point production. I'm more concerned with his play, his actual play. I'm not impressed with him at all. I hear that he put on a couple of pounds through the summer, and that's great. Still can't stay on his feet.
Yeah, I mean,
gets
Dubé
pushed
put
around.
a couple pounds on, and he stays on his feet now.
That-
a lot
that's right.
more than he ever did.
100%. And you could tell that he's been working on his shot because he's hitting the goddamn net, which is nice.
Right?
Dubé has looked like miles ahead of Mangiapane so far this year.
This year, yeah. I want to point out to one thing I am kind of happy about with Mangiapane, though.
Mhm.
I can see that he's trying to add offensive passes into his game. I'm not sure he's very good at it because there's been a couple of bad giveaways. But I'm happy that he's trying, because that was one thing that really pissed me off last year. Like, yeah, the 35 goals was great, but like he never passed the puck ever in the offensive zone.
Yeah, it's like watching World Junior, right? A whole bunch of
do it all himself.
Yeah.
And I think opposing teams have picked up on that now. I mean, I think they picked up on it last, Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, you cover him hard against the boards, and he's basically ineffective, right?
Yeah.
And he's getting a reasonable amount of ice time, and all that fun stuff. My God, like I want so much more out of him. I want to see what everybody else sees in him.
I see it there. I just
in flash.
He's like better Matthew Phillips. Like,
right. So he's better.
He's like Matthew Phillips is like an AHL level of what Mangiapane would be if he was on the third line or the fourth line, which is probably effective down there playing 5 minutes a night, but not.
I mean, that's a hell of a statement. He's a better version of a career AHL player than the AHL player.
Yeah.
Got it. I have no argument against that.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm sure he would rip it up in Calgary playing for the Wranglers, right?
Well, he would, but I mean, like he would be better. He's like on the third line in Calgary. I mean, like because he always put up better numbers when he was in the bottom six. Anyways, the second he gets the tougher matchups, he loses everything.
Mm-hmm.
He loses his scoring touch. He loses his ability to stay on his feet. He loses everything.
Yeah.
And he just, I believe, especially if we want a balanced attack, I still believe we need one more top line right winger. Put Mangiapane on the third where he actually fucking produces.
Mm-hmm.
I love Trevor Lewis, don't get me wrong, but Trevor Lewis is a fourth liner. Should be. Ideally, should be a fourth liner.
Yeah.
Toffoli, career high 58 points. That's fucking just fine on the second line.
Yep.
Get somebody who can fucking be that top line right winger. And that just slots everybody where they should be.
Right.
In my opinion. It's gonna be tough, don't get me wrong, but that's my opinion on it.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. Yeah,
Dubé's been good on the second line though. Like
Dubé,
again, like it's not
Dubé now
like he's
belongs on
racking
it.
up points, but he's again staying on his feet and he's playing much better defensively. He's hustling on both sides of the puck now, not just the offensive side of the puck when he has it, like he did last year and the year before and the year before.
Well, that's like last year and through the summer, and I've been saying it for a long time that unless Dubé changes his game,
yeah,
he's going to be a career third liner, and I honestly feel comfortable with him on the second line the way he's been playing thus far.
Now, yeah.
I agree. And if he can continue it on for the season, awesome.
Yeah,
I'll be happy with that. He can take over Mangiapane's spot there because of the effort that he's putting in.
Yep.
I know they play other sides, but it's fine.
And I want to talk about one more thing before we cut this episode off. You know who Rebecca Johnstone is?
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who may be listening who don't, she is the Flames skating coach. She was a Canadian Olympian in hockey, obviously, for many years. And I really think that she's made a huge difference in a lot of our slower players, like the guys who were slower last year and the year for the last few years, including Dubé, who was never really slow, but he was definitely faster when he had the puck. But I think that she's like, you can see Milan Lucic, let's say, who's been chronically slow for the last few years, and now he's like keeping up with Lindholm and whoever else was on that fucking line yesterday.
Yeah, that was quite the interesting combos.
Yeah, but like
Luch on the second, of course.
Yeah, but he was keeping up, and he was actually not doing too bad.
No,
right up until the last play where he basically gave the other team a goal. But you see Lucic. I'm going to go through some players. Rasmus, who never had, was the most fleet of foot. He's been a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Hannafin's been a little bit faster. I think Tanev's got stronger on the skates.
Yep.
I think, again, Dubé's staying up, which is huge.
Yep.
I think Toffoli got a little bit faster. Lewis is faster. Backlund is way faster. Like, this is a trend that I love, and it's a trend that I'm tying. I haven't heard anybody say this, but I'm tying it to the new skating coach, because that's when that many guys skate that much faster.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence.
It's not a
when
coincidence.
That many people are actually.
Yeah.
Luch has been noticeably faster this year.
Yeah,
he
was always
quite a few games.
He was always like that. Once he gets going, he's a bull. Once he gets going, it would just took him a little bit to get going, but now he's like off and running.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's a good take. I like that one.
I gotta have one every once in a while.
Well, right? Even the clock is ready twice a day.
Not all of them. Wait.
I mean, I hope they are. So after last show, I don't know if you remember, I think I predicted us to go 3-0 for the stretch. We're 2 in and we're 0-2.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead and eat the crow. I'm fine with that. Thursday night we've got Nashville.
If we can't pump Soros after his,
if we can't, then we're doing something wrong, because everybody else is right now.
Exactly.
And then we have on Saturday we actually have a pretty Well, who would have thought that the Devils would be a tough matchup? But I mean, they're leading the Metro.
I'm just gonna put my hand up right now. I told you that.
You said
When-
wild card. They're first. Knock it off.
Well,
I'll give you the credit that they're in the playoff spot. I will.
still a hard matchup, not a fucking written into the schedule win.
Yeah.
But
And then we go on a 3-game road trip. So and we play Jersey twice within the next week, right?
and they're doing it the last couple games. They've shut out Colorado, and they put up 7 against Columbus, and they're doing it without their big off-season acquisition, who just had surgery.
Right.
Andre Palat just had surgery, so yeah, they're doing it without him, and I'm actually quite excited to play them because I enjoy watching they play an exciting brand of hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it'll be a fun atmosphere on Saturday, hopefully, in the dome. One of the things that Daryl said after Seattle was that the dome was way too quiet. So
It was.
if you're at the game, get fucking loud. You're there for a reason. Cheer your team on. So Nashville, Jersey, Islanders, Jersey. Hopefully we'll get another show up before the end of the road trip, which ends off on next Thursday, the 10th, against Boston. Got my son and his girlfriend coming into town on Friday, so it's going to be a good time. I believe the whole family's going to the game on the 12th against the Jets.
Awesome.
Just trying to find some reasonably priced tickets from people that I know.
Hopefully they start David Riddick.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Wait, he's still playing for them, right? I don't even know.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Oh yeah, no, he started a preseason game. He shut us out in the preseason.
Right.
Right.
Dave.
Anyways,
5-0. God's sake. Just looked at it. Gross.
I think that was like our first game with our whole team too, I think. Fuck. Anyways,
well, I would say he's earned the start on the 12th.
Yeah, throw him in there, please.
Yeah.
God knows Hellebuck's fucking not easy to beat.
No, he's not. He is not. And I mean, they're not easy to beat. He's not easy to beat for us, I'll say. But I mean, they're 1 point ahead of us, right?
Yeah. And they have players that play really fucking good against us. Connor and Ehlers, and not so much Dubois, but Wheeler usually plays pretty good against us, and Morrissey usually plays really good against us. It's
it'll be a different game against them without Kachuk, right? Because he used to always mix it up a lot. So maybe Kadri can pick that up a little bit, or get Richie to get involved physically.
How about Brett fucking Richie?
How about him? Like
how many games, if we still did the Calgary Fire Department helmet thing that we used to do that Sam Bennett always seemed to fucking get, how many would he have this year? At least 2.
I was gonna say 3. Yeah, absolutely. He's on fire. He clearly wants to stay in the lineup, right? And he's putting in the effort. I mean, motherfucker has more points than both Dubé and Mangiapane with 5.
Yeah.
3 goals, 2 assists. He's been on fire.
Yeah.
It's been so fun to watch him. I really like
he's
watching
one time yet like he's fucking David Pastrnak. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. But you can tell, right? Once you get that swagger, right? It's tough to get rid of it. Like you can ride that swagger for at least 3-4 games, and I mean he has it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 5 points in 8 games for Brett Richie.
Or fourth liner, noted fourth liner. No,
Yeah.
noted 13th forward.
Right.
Noted everybody hates on him for some reason.
Yeah. Ever since they put him
They're
on the
not
top
doing it
line,
this
right?
year.
Thanks, Jeff Ward, for everybody hating Richie,
Yeah.
putting him somewhere he didn't belong. He clearly belongs on the fourth because, I mean,
Imagine if Michael Furland actually played how the rest of his career was on when he was on the top line in Calgary. Like people would have fucking hated him, but
Yeah.
everybody loved him.
well, everybody loved Furland because of that playoff round against Vancouver.
Partially, one of the things that I remember Furland for that I'm not sure if a lot of people remember, but outsmarting Crosby one night, he straight up just like stick lifted Crosby, went on a breakaway and scored.
Yeah.
Like Crosby was doing his little fucking deacon around the offensive zone. He was hanging out by the blue line, and Furland was just like, I'll take that, and fucked off and scored.
I mean, that it was a 2015, I think, first round.
That playoffs was those playoffs were
Like-
great.
Like physically, there's no way he could continue a career like that. So I mean, he was a goddamn train wreck. Like,
He really was.
yeah, I mean, if you're a defender on Vancouver, you were having a rough night. Ask Kevin Bieksa, he'll tell you,
Yeah.
right? Like, what do you call him, Ferklin and or what's his name? I don't even know his name, and he sure as fuck knew what his name was by the end of that series.
Well, maybe he didn't. Maybe he just got his bell rocked so hard he couldn't remember who hit him.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyways,
Well-
should we continue doing predictions or should we not?
You know what? I think I'm done with the prediction game. I have it mentally in my head. I'll see how I fare this week, and we'll get back to predictions next week.
Sounds good. We were we were both. I mean, I didn't want to say 3-0 because
Yeah.
this is what happens when I predict 3-0.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you guys, you and Kyle there, twisted my rubber arm and was like, fine, 3-0, and guess what?
Well, I
One
think
game.
I started the 3-0 train. I'll take all the heat for that. So I won't do that again before games because it seems to be bad luck.
Yeah.
That and we
In
have
fact, you should just not watch the game because you're bad luck.
don't start with me. I haven't not watched a game in years.
I know.
Even when we're bad, right? That's kind of the fan I am, glutton for punishment.
Yeah,
I don't care. Still my team.
absolutely.
Too much stuff in this room to replace with a different color, anyways.
Please don't.
Yeah, that's what what I was thinking. I was 6 years old when Calgary came to town. It's probably time to think of a new team, right?
Yeah. Did you get rid of Monahan there?
I put him on the other end of the couch.
Oh, okay.
I don't want him sitting
he-
next to me anymore. He's stinking up the joint.
Fair enough.
No, I moved him just actually because I wanted to get him out of the shot for the podcast. No offense to
fair
Sean. He seems to be fitting in quite well in Montreal.
Well, you never got the shelf for him, and now he doesn't need it. So
That's right. Yeah. Maybe I should have. Yeah.
So how about just quickly? How about Brad Marchand having the exact same surgery that Monahan had, and coming back and scoring 2 goals and getting an assist that game,
Well,
and like looking fucking good while he did it too.
he's short, right? And by short, like shorter for the NHL.
I think he's like 5'9" or 5'10" or something. Yeah, he's not NHL average, that's for sure.
Yeah, so he's my height, short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what can you say about it? Like, you want to talk about veteran players and knowing how to play the game. I mean, I know you don't like his antics, but
No, I'm not a huge fan, no.
I mean, I've always said that I would love Brad Marchand on my team. I've always said it.
Yeah.
I love watching him when he represents us in international play. Yeah, it's yeah, dude. I've got
I just
all day for him, minus some of his tactics. I don't mind all. I don't mind most of them, but every once in a while he does something, kind of stupid. I don't like the slew foots, that's for sure. The other stuff I don't have an issue with.
Yeah, no, I just found it crazy that the same surgery that basically rendered um Tyler Sagan like completely ineffective for 2 years, and the same surgery that basically made Monahan into a fourth liner for a couple years, and like Marchand has it, and actually waits until he's healthy to come back. And
That's a
then
novel idea, right?
yeah,
But Sean
right.
Sean had one side done and then needed the other, right?
Yeah,
Like there was clearly an issue with the second side. I would say at the same time as the first.
I want to say they just didn't know about it. Like I have no absolutely no proof of that. That's just my assumption, because generally when something like that happens, or pretty much whenever you hurt yourself in any manner or in any form, other parts of your body start overcompensating because that part of your body doesn't want to work properly.
Yep.
So it kind of would make sense that if Sean's, let's say, I can't remember which hip was first, but let's say his left hip was all fucked up, his right hip would want to overcompensate, and then the same thing could very well happen to it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that could potentially be it. Plus, I mean, given Sean's track record on letting the medical staff know, and and wanting to play through injury, there's all sorts of things there, right? Like
he said that, in his like um first like welcome to Montreal media availability. He was like, I fully admit that I didn't take the time I needed to come back the player I should be.
Yep.
Type of thing. So
yeah. And I mean, we've all been saying it, since his wrist issues, and yeah.
Anyways,
yeah. On that note, how did we end the show with Sean Monahan?
Because I noticed he's not on the couch right beside you anymore.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the couch beside me for the whole season. He left us.
Yeah.
All right. So Thursday night, let's go Flames over Nashville. Again on Saturday, Flames over Jersey. It's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. We need a couple of wins here. We need full.
Just said you weren't gonna predict. Anyways.
I'm not predicting. I'm just saying it's gotta happen. Because after a couple of sloppy losses there, we need a full 60, and I think Daryl's going to demand it from all of them. So
either you guys have a full 60, or I'm going to bring up Stockton or the Wranglers, all of the Wranglers for one game, make you all sit and watch how hockey should be played, even though the Wranglers are losing. But
I bet you Daryl would sit 3 forwards and 2 defensemen and make them play that way without bringing anybody up to prove a point.
Just a line full of Richies,
right? Yeah,
Richie, Rooney, and Lucic first line.
Fucking right. So let's go.
Let's go. Mackey and fucking bring in Shillington and Mackey for first pair.
Shillington's not in Canada yet, is he?
No.
Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, I say that, but I do hope that whatever's going on in his life that he gets
absolutely. I can say pretty much every time personally I say any shit about a guy on the ice, that doesn't mean that I don't wish the best for that person in the rest of their lives. And as far as Shillington is concerned, anyone who's listened to the podcast for a while will know Chris and I are both on the same page about Shillington on the ice. But hey man, get yourself better.
Yep. Yeah, get your stuff figured out. Even though we don't really know what it is, but whatever it is,
and we don't need to.
No, it's none of my business. My business is the Flames, baby. That'll do it for Week 3 recap. Dylan and Chris. Cheers. Go Flames. Go.
Cheers.